Welcome to BizTech's Technology Show. Our guest for today is Dr. Avishek Kumar, co-founder and CEO of VFlowTech. VFlowTech is a Singapore-based energy startup that is redefining energy storage with cutting-edge technology and a goal of creating the world's most affordable and scalable vanadium redox flow batteries. Now, to tell us more, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brian.
Now, Dr. Avishek, for starters, give us an overview of the genesis of VFlowTech, its history, and what basically set you to found this company.
Thank you, Brian, for raising this point. And to answer that question, I'll probably go back, give a bit of my background. So I believe in renewable energy. I'm a hardcore renewable energy person, a renewable technopreneur. I did my PhD in solar with aim to reduce the cost, and I was successful. So I did leave a decade where we were able to bring the cost of solar from 90 cents per watt to 19 cents per watt, and that triggered the mass adoption. I did my PhD in solar. I did work with a leading company manufacturing solar panels and did play a role in technology. After that, I could envisage that we are entering a decade where decarbonization is one of our more and most important goal with the global warming rising. And an important component of decarbonization, while renewable is becoming cheap, we are also seeing rise of electric vehicle. It's intermittent demand, so somebody can come and charge anytime, and you have renewable, which is not, so renewable is very good, very low carbon footprint, but the side effect is that it's not continuous, it's intermittent. So you cannot be sure when it is. And we could see, and we could envisage early at VFlowTech that there is a need to have a bridge between intermittent demand and intermittent generation. And that bridge is nothing but a long duration energy storage solution, and the whole world is talking about it. And as a tech entrepreneur, I feel that it's our duty to start working on technology and enabling it for application. And that's why we set up VFlowTech to address the challenge of long duration energy storage solution.
I want to talk a little bit more around long duration energy storage. Could you elaborate on the problem statement? You just explained that, but tell us how you're going to solve that, not only on the electrification of vehicles space, but also for the larger equation as well.
So let me give you what does long duration energy storage means and what it means to us. I mean, we all have been using energy storage from starting the car to our laptops to our phone. And you will realize that when you talk on phone for an hour, it becomes hot. The phenomena is called thermal runaway, and you will also see performance degradation that is happening. Now, what is interesting has happened is that we being in Singapore, you will see that we have a lot of sun, and sun is available throughout the day of about 11 to 12 hours of sun. Effective, but there are clouds, so you cannot. So effective sun hour is about 4 hours. That means that at full capacity, sun can charge only 4, but you have light throughout the day. And then there is night. So if I have to completely go into net zero economy, we need to power our energy need by 24/7 with renewables. That means I will need to store energy over the daytime, which is of 12 to 13 hours, and then discharge over next 15 to 18 hours. That duration is called long duration energy storage solution.
Okay, and how does that, and that is also very clear from so in terms of solar panel and battery storage and so forth, how is this innovation that you're talking about made possible? What sort of new technologies are you leveraging on to make this happen?
There are, so as a tech entrepreneur, there are always multiple technologies, not one technologies are available. So you will be hearing that people are talking about hydrogen economy. Hydrogen is also one of the key enablers, but as a technology evolves, there is a lot more steps. On that line, flow batteries are ones such that are able to charge for long hours and discharge for long time. So from that perspective, it is quite promising. But again, any technology to market, there is a lot of R&D required. And at VFlowTech, we found out that flow battery technologies had lower efficiency, had the problem with vanadium precipitations, and these were the roadblocks, which at NTU, we worked last 7 years solving these problems. And we brought it to a state where we feel that is now commercially attractive. It's a step between having a hydrogen economy and a short duration energy storage, and we are finding a market. And I can give you some examples. You must be surprised that we have islands in Maldives, we have islands in Indonesia, we have islands in Singapore that is burning diesel 24/7 to power their energy needs. Now that not is the is first, it's very costly. So energy generation from diesel is now 40 to 60, and you know the oil prices are also not in control, and it's and then there are OPEX. Now with solar and batteries, you can form a clean energy microgrid, which will cost you less than 10 cents to 15 cents per unit of energy, and you can do it effectively 24/7. And that is the kind of technology which we are building, batteries that can enable a 24/7 shift to renewables, having lower carbon footprint, and at the same time cost-effective, low noise technology.
Okay, but Avishek, there is a challenge there that there's in terms of scaling, low scale solar and large scale solar efficiencies are a little bit different, isn't it? Talk to us around those challenges of large scale solar.
I mean, so large scale solar today is not a challenge. If you will look into countries like India, you will see that they are reaching 100 gigawatt capacity of renewables. They have large farms. They have farms of worth 1 gigawatt whole area. And if you are reading recent news, China is aggressive. They plan to put 100 gigawatt of renewable energy, and 100 gigawatt to give you an index. Singapore peak capacity is between 7 to 8 gigawatt. So it can power like 100 gigawatt renewable will be able to power 10. So Singapore small cities. So that's 1 year goal of China. So, and even if you look into regional geography, Singapore is one of the leading countries that are that has made a mind that I will decarbonize my grid, and we are now putting up a tender to import clean power. And importing clean power, we are privileged to have islands of Indonesia. And then you will hear that there are companies that are planning to put large gigawatt level solar park in Australia, bring a cable to Singapore. Now, the only challenge with solar is that at scale, it's not consistent. So there is a voltage fluctuations, and you need to maintain that sanity in the grid. And that's the role where batteries come to play. So I will say that we have reached a technology maturity in solar. There is a need for technology maturity in energy storage to have this a 24/7 shift to renewable.
Okay, and how is that battery innovation then from a large scale? You've just mentioned that basically battery, long-term battery storage enables then the harnessing for really large scale projects. But how has battery innovation been critical in the electrification journey in cars?
I mean, we all know that global warming is a challenge, but unfortunately, most business decisions are only taken based on economics, and this has delayed the energy transition practices. Solar was expensive, now it's cheap, so people are adopting solar not because that's one factor that it's renewable, it's low carbon footprint, but also because it's the cheapest form of energy. Same thing happens of battery innovation in car. Now, in any car, typically battery cost is coming to be about 30 to 40%. The cost is of battery, which is a challenge. And if the battery cost is expensive, the car overall cost of car it becomes expensive. Correct. And if battery is not reliable, it again for common man it is a thing to solve it. But I see that over the last decade, there has been a tremendous improvement in energy density. You can pack more energy in a particular space. Battery technology has improved, safety has improved, and the cost has reduced drastically. If you look into Bloomberg report, energy storage cost has been declining exponentially over the last 1 decade, and it's quite affordable on today's date. There is one more challenge with energy storage. So as you can, if you have been using phone, you will see that you charge your phone in the daytime thinking that you will be back at home, and your phone ran out of charge. The batteries that are powering cars are also lithium-ion batteries. Mm-hmm. So there is uncertainty among groups of people who are using, where will I be able to charge it if I run out in the middle? And that uncertainty is one concern right now, what I see. I mean, electric cars are economical. I mean, there are many mathematics that show that it's economical than ICs. So that is driving people towards electric car. But there is a sense of uncertainty on charging infrastructure, which people are putting it. So that balance and policies I think we are moving in that right direction, and with most government aggressive, we see that things will change by the end of this decade.
Okay, so Abhishek, I want to zoom in on electric vehicle infrastructure in Asia in particular. Obviously, Singapore is aggressive, and that's your home market in terms of rolling this out. But that's going to take time across the region, in ASEAN in particular. Although some countries in Europe, for example, have imposed a ban of the internal combustion vehicles from about 2030. How do you see this landscape shifting, as you said, to solve this problem around the longevity and between charging of vehicles?
So people are realizing that there is a need to address that. Unless we have a unified infrastructure, there will be a slow adoption. And adoption can also be pushed by government policy. So I am seeing that most government are pro EVs. They are making policies to increase adoption. So in the US, there are tax exemptions for using EVs. In Singapore, we are promoting anybody to install EV charger, and there is incentive by LTA. And so this has to go hand in hand. What is worrying factor is that, again, grids are old. And if you know the loads particularly, you are certain about it. EV chargers are additional load. If everybody start to charge, that will stress the grid. And that's why we are promoting self-reliant EV charger or use of batteries in the grid to support EV charger. And I was reading an article somewhere that the most important batteries powering the cars will not be inside the car, but outside the car, enabling a faster charging, enabling a higher DC voltage to do a faster charging, and supporting the grid when there is surplus mismatch between demand and supply.
And you've hit the nail on the head, because the current weakness of all of these cars is the fact that the amount of time it takes to charge these cars in between usage.
Yes. So that's phenomena how you charge a car. So I mean, usually there's a low voltage charging or AC charging, which takes time. A charge can be charged car can be charged at a faster rate if you are able to increase the voltage. So there are high voltage DCs that can charge car faster, but these additionally increase stress on the grid. So that's a technological challenge that people are solving on it, and then I think we will be solving soon.
Now, I want to zoom in on the R&D that you do, and also what you're going to do moving forward. Now, you've got a partnership with SG Innovate and NTU. Tell us about your collaborations in that space.
I mean, we are privileged to be in an ecosystem of Singapore. The technology which we are working, we worked 7 years in NTU. My co-founder Arjun did his PhD in NTU. So we were able to do a dedicated R&D for last 7 years to improve technology. Any technology needs continuous improvements. So we were able to commercialize. When we found out that we have reached a point where it's close to commercialization, it makes economical sense, we set up VFlowTech. But then a technology needs continuous improvement. So we have a continuous research collaboration with NTU to keep doing an R&D. And benefit of having an NTU on board is that, again, you have a technology, you need to have an application, and there is a bridge between technology to application. You cannot just do a testing on ground. NTU also enables us by giving new POCs where you can test your batteries for different application, and that application can be scaled at multiple places.
Okay, and also you've got an interesting collaboration with SingFuel for a joint venture to set up in Africa. Tell us about that and what the problem statement is there.
So that's a very exciting project. SingFuel happened to be one of our investors earlier. They are now their revenues are about $800 million from bunker trading oil and gas. And we were having a candid discussion. They also happen to have a good telecom connects in Africa. And when in one of the candid discussion, it came out that, I mean, energy is second most desired thing in the world after food. And it happens that Africa, there is a lack of grid, there's lack of access of energy. And what makes a renewable system very attractive is that you can have a distributor. You don't need to lay expensive infrastructure to electrify. You can have a small network of solar and batteries, and you can power communities. You can power telecom towers. having a good network of sync fuel, we set up this company called VFlowTech Africa. It's a joint venture with VFlowTech and sync fuel to basically build, own, operate microgrids for sub-Saharan Africa. And we are having exciting projects. So the first projects we are undertaking is in a hospital that was plagued by burning diesels and having a problem of getting diesels and making a continuous supply on electricity. We are putting our batteries and a microgrid, and we are enabling the battery to have that brain that when they can predict when the electricity will go out and battery is ready. So the community will be able to take diesel off completely. And we are working as an energy as service concept. So we sell energy, clean energy, and people who use it pays for it. The financing is done by a group of, Syncfuel group of companies at early stage, but we are seeing international companies and international organization being interested to co-finance these kind of projects. We are also looking at telecom towers in Africa that can take out diesel and VFlow batteries and solar can power their operations 24/7 in an efficient and cost-effective way.
Avishek, that sounds really exciting. Also, one of the key things is it really solves a very important problem of power in less developed nations. Is that then a new business model for VFlowTech beyond the technology itself, being an operator of the grid?
Primarily, as I told you, I'm a tech entrepreneur. I believe in creating solution and solution need products. So at VFlowTech, we are focused on building technologies, but we also want to create market where there's opportunity and there are right partners. So we were able to see a partnership with Syncfuel who are fairly good in business. Putting up a microgrid business in a new co is a company in independent that has financed by by Syncfuel and other corporate partners. And we sell energy because it becomes more effective, because if you go and sell batteries, you need to tell technologies, you need to find people, and and VFlowTech is now about 50 people technical team, having a deep understanding of power systems, control and communications, sharing the knowledge, building a microgrid and selling energy in a new company. VFlowTech as a company, we benefit by selling batteries. And for microgrids, again, microgrids, we are talking about microgrids that works 24/7. You need a long duration energy storage solution, and flow batteries are by natural a long duration energy storage solution and a long life, 25 years of long life. So your renewable is 25 years, flow battery 25 years. It syncs quite well. So we as a main company get benefits of selling technology. At the same time, the new company that will generate revenue, we are a shareholder of that. So it's a way to generate multiple revenue while creating impact.
And Abhishek, so obviously you found a sweet spot, you found your product market fit, there's a great use case there. What's the outlook like for VFlow in terms of projects for 2022, 2023?
I often tell to our investors and clients, we are demand is chasing us. We have been fortunate working with some of the leading companies. We have got a recent project with JTC powering industrial clients on
So this is Jurong Town Corporation, right, in Singapore?
Yeah. JTC and EMA, we just won an award by EMA and JTC to work with the industrial client, oil tanking. It's now renamed to Advario in Jurong Island, and put up energy storage to decarbonize their operations. We are working with one of the leading companies to completely reinvent Pulau Ubin with a battery and solar that can power the whole Pulau Ubin into 24/7 clean operations. So we have projects to be delivered this year. As of next year, we have large demands coming up. So we are catching up, and it often misconceived. So hardware technology takes time. Likes of any technology, you need time to perfect it. And we have been accelerating the development by deploying technologies at client site and building it. So the first product I built, we were able to ship it to Japan, and we are working with client to improve the product. So we have been able to accelerate our product development by co-deployment with clients. And I often tell people that we are like fixing a plane while flying it. So that has given us a fast track position because the demand is now, and energy storage is a key critical component. So we would like to accelerate it and bring the solution to customer as soon as possible.
Now, Abhishek, then how are you going to fund this vision and this accelerated growth?
Yeah, so we have been able to deliver our solution so far, and we are getting investor interest. We are raising our round of about $10 million to basically strengthen our operations, deliver our current demands, and we have quite a bit of interest. And if we are able to successfully cross this hurdle, our stories are building up quite good. We have projects in Australia, we have projects in Africa, Japan, and Southeast Asia. So that makes us a very good company to look and watch out for in next decade.
Abhishek, this has been a very educational and fascinating conversation with you. But before we leave, any final thoughts you'd like to leave our audience?
Yes, a personal thought. So you need to, so we cannot wait and watch now. We need to be an early adopter. I know there is a inconvenience and cost economics doesn't make sense, but right now it's for all of us to act together, act in advance, and commit towards a clean and green future.
Now, Dr. Abhishek, thank you very much for taking your time to be on the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian.
Now, we've been speaking to Dr. Avishek Kumar, the co-founder and CEO of VFlowTech on BizTech's Technology Show. This video and podcast will be on our various platforms as well as our website, www.biztech.asia. Please like and subscribe to our various platforms. Thanks again for tuning in.